throw in my pieces that I want. Try to just even this up here. That should be good enough portion. And then I'll go ahead and put it filled up with water. Depends on how much meat you got in the bag. As long as the meat's covered. And you see that the meat's covered with water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay it and get all the air out that I can. Better get that before I zip it shut. Now you can see that it's kind of, there's really no air in it. It's kind of even sucked out. And what I'll do is I'll lay that out, make sure that I got the label up where I can see it in the freezer, and it'll freeze just like that. So that's the way I take care of that as far as canning squirrel and rabbit goes. So I got the rabbit froze that I'm going to freeze in the freezer and sitting there, and then I got the meat ready here that I'm going to prepare for a meal tonight. So that's pretty well the gist of you know, rabbit hunting and taking care of your meat. As far as preparing it, like I said, if you don't have a whole lot of experience at cooking wild game or you know, as far as squirrel and rabbit goes, there's, you know, it's kind of hard to judge, like especially if you're going to fry it, it's kind of hard to judge that point at where, you know, some pieces need to come out and some pieces need to fry a little longer. So if you don't have a whole lot of experience in judging that, you know, that takes a little bit of you know, like I said, experience. One good way of doing it to remedy that would be to maybe cook it almost done, you know, in water or seasoned water, and then take it out and then fry it after that. And that way it kind of ensures that, like I said, like your bigger pieces are done all the way through and the small pieces aren't overdone. So that's one good way of beginning, you know, to gain some experience at preparing wild game. There's frying obviously isn't the only way of doing it. You can you know, cook it all the way down and where it falls off the bone, pull the meat off the bone and simmer that in gravy. Or you can leave it, cook it all the way down and simmer the whole pieces in gravy if you like to dig it out and, you know, out of the gravy and take the meat off the bone that way. Like I said, there's 10,000 different ways to fix it. Fix squirrel and rabbits. There's not a whole lot to it really. It's just like any other kind of meat once you really get down to it. It's just a matter of doing it. So I hope that you guys got a little bit out of this video, and if you haven't experienced rabbit hunting before, I highly recommend, you know, get with somebody who does do some rabbit hunting, kind of show you the basics, or maybe go with them with, you know, watch the dogs. Who knows, you may end up one of these days getting you some rabbit dogs to go out with. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good way to introduce hunting to youngsters too. Take them out and let them see the dogs working, and because there's quite a bit of action. If you get in an area that's got a lot of game in it, there's a lot of, you know, action there for youngsters to get stimulated and to get them build up an interest in hunting. And I think that's where we're lacking in today's times, that most hunters are focused on the big game like deer and turkey, which is fine, but to get a kid or a youngster out there and let them sit in the woods all day waiting for a deer to come walking by, you know, they could lose interest, you know, in hunting altogether, because there's just not a whole lot of action there. So by taking them out in the woods and squirrel hunting, or take them out in the field and do some rabbit hunting, there's a lot of action there. Plus it has a tendency to you can coax them a little bit on, you know, either how to carry the firearm properly in the woods, or how to move in the woods, how to sneak up to a squirrel, so to speak, and build up a lot of those hunting skills that is necessary to go out and go after deer and turkey and that like. So I think what happens is they want to introduce youngsters out in the woods, but they don't have a whole lot of experience with what to do with a squirrel or what to do with a rabbit when they do shoot it. So how are you going to want to teach a youngster how to hunt squirrel and rabbit if you yourself really don't know what to do with it once you get it? So one way is to learn that, and then to take youngsters out and introduce them to hunting in that way. That's why I feel is better than actually throwing them right after deer, and hope for the best. But so, like I said, I hope you got a little bit out of this video and build on some skills with it as far as hunting small game. You can also reference, I did also a video on squirrel hunting and processing squirrel meat. Check that out too while you're doing it. So with that, like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video and catch you out in the woods.